Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce, and today we're going to take two very popular speed loaders for pistol magazines, and we're going to have a race to see which one is faster and easier to use. But first, I've been doing some reloading on my 300 blackout stuff, and I've made a mess of my presentation desk. So let's go ahead and clean it up first. Okay, we are now all cleaned up, so let's take a look at our contestants. We have the Butler Creek made ASAP speed loader, and it's kind of a new one on the block, at least to me at least. And we have the UpLula, which is something that I have known and used for a very, very long time. To fully test this out, I have a 33 round Glock magazine, and I'll be loading it pretty much as quickly as possible. And I'll be using the same mag, so I'm going to do this a couple of different times. So I'll be using the same mag, same ammunition. I've got some LEX ammo right here, 9mm. This is normal ball ammo, 124 grain. Nothing special about that whatsoever. But I'll be loading the same ammo and just emptying out the magazine between shots. To make this as scientific as possible, I'm going to forego using one of these speed loaders for a baseline and just use what I was given at birth, my thumbs. And here we go, 3, 2, 1. And time, there we go, 1:30, minute 30. And now the head-to-head competition between Butler Creek and UpLula. 3, 2, 1, go. Time. The winner, by a large margin, UpLula. And time, there we go, 1:28. So the Butler Creek took 1 minute 28 seconds. The UpLula took 53 seconds. 53 seconds. That's a 35-second difference, which means this is over 50% faster than the Butler Creek. Now, unfortunately, this is not a good product. Full disclosure here, I've been using this UpLula for about 15 years. I mean, this is about 15 years old. And I bought this because I was on the 3-gun circuit, and purely amateur, I was not paid for any of this, just for fun. And I quickly figured out that a lot of the semi-pros, I never really competed against pros or anything, but some of the semi-pros, some of the higher echelon amateurs out there were all using the UpLula mag loaders here for their pistols. And I quickly figured out that at the end of the day, that last stage or two, my arms were tired from loading all these magazines, because every stage you'd go through 5, 6, sometimes even 7 Glock magazines, or I would, Glock or Smith & Wesson, whichever one I was using at the time. So 15 to 17 rounds per magazine, and that was pretty tiresome. A normal day of shooting would be like 250 rounds in competition. So you're loading, quickly loading, and then moving on to the next stage. Usually this was summertime, so it's hot outside. So you wanted every advantage possible to keep your arms limber and loose and not tired. And UpLula really helped out in that. You know, it's been forever since I bought this, so let's go ahead and check on Amazon how much these cost. I have it in my Amazon store, I know that, but a bestseller, as you can see right there, just a lot of glare. I'll put a screenshot there. Bestseller, $27. So $27.94 plus any kind of tax if you live in a Amazon tax state. And of course shipping if you're not part of Prime. Now, let's look at the Butler Creek. It is not a bestseller, and it is for $28. Now, if you look at the ratings, the ASAP has 3 stars. The UpLula has 5 stars. That alone should say something. Now, you kind of got to take Amazon ratings with a grain of salt, because a lot of those are purchased. But this is proof right there. This is just additional proof, just layers and layers of proof that the UpLula magazine loader is far superior to the Butler Creek ASAP. Which is a shame really, because Butler Creek makes some of the best loading tools out there for the 1022. Now I have a really old video on the channel somewhere that shows me demonstrating the Butler Creek loading tool for the 1022. And I use that thing all the time and it's never let me down. I've loaded thousands and thousands of rounds through that reloader without a problem. So that one is recommended, but unfortunately Butler Creek screwed a pooch on this one. They just really did. Now the video you saw of me using the Butler Creek option here was the cleanest one. The one that I used in the race was the cleanest one that I could get, because I did about 4 or 5 different attempts to get a clean run from beginning to end. And that was the cleanest one I could get. All the others end up with a jam that would jam around near the very top, or would completely just pop out of the magazine after I was done loading it. Really? So there's all kinds of issues with this that's even worse. That was the best case scenario that I could coax out of this thing after dealing with it 4 or 5 times. So yeah, this was the best I could do. The problems with the Butler Creek didn't really service until about the 17 to 20 round range. So if you were just loading stock factory capacity magazines, which in Glock is 17 rounds, then the speeds would be pretty comparable between the Butler Creek and the UpLula options. But number one, the UpLula is cheaper. But at some point in the future, if you ever wanted to buy a 33 round fun stick, then wouldn't you want to have a reloading tool that was versatile enough to take care of this along with your factory standard capacity magazines? I mean, I would. So I highly recommend the UpLula magazine loader versus the Butler Creek. And of course, both of them are better than your thumbs, marginally better. In this case, the UpLula, highly recommended. Highly, highly recommended. As a last-ditch effort to save the Butler Creek name here, I decided, well, maybe it does better with single-stack magazines. So let's check that out here. Of course, it does fine with the UpLula magazine is okay. It's a little clunky. You have to align it every time because it is really standard. It's really meant for double stack magazines. It really is set up for your standard double stack mag. But you can make it work. Now a single stack magazine, unless you got, well, let's see, is that, okay, that's it. So a single stack magazine, unless you got one of those extended weird ones, you're probably not going to be needing a reloader tool for it. But it might come in handy if you shot a ton of it and only had a limited number of mags. So now, let's see what that does with the Butler Creek. It doesn't do anything. The magazine follower digs in right there. Get my pointer out. The magazine follower digs into the plastic right there. Let's see if we can coax it in there anyway. Okay, so we got it coaxed in there. And no, it does not work. It does not push the follower down far enough. So chalk up another win for the UpLula. Now, if you want to stay on the Deuce and Guns channel, go ahead and click on one of these two videos right here. Now I'll keep you watching away. But this is it for me today, guys. If you have any comments, questions, or show ideas, leave that in the comment box below the video. Thank you for watching. And of course, you guys have a great day. See ya.